Here's a quick tip from my Leash Walking Connected course. It's on teaching a moving settle. A lot of you might have seen my videos on how to train your dog to settle while you're at a cafe or while you're at home or while they're in a pen where they relax and lay down. And when they're not thinking about the food, that's when they get the food. So you get a dog that is calm and relaxed around food rather than when you take the treat bag out, they get hyper fixated on the food and frustrated if you don't give them the food fast enough, which can quickly happen if you're doing training sessions with your dog using a high rate of reinforcement, such as you might be using positive reinforcement to train a new behavior using food. And if you don't work on teaching them to relax around food, you can get a dog that's frustrated quickly when they're not getting the food fast enough. So some people might bring food on walks and want to do some training with their dog. And then once the treats have come out, sometimes their dog can get frustrated if they're not getting the treats fast enough, or they might have the issue where as soon as the treats are put away, the dog completely checks out and wants to leave you and ignore you. So what I suggest is working on a moving settle. So what you do is as you're walking and your dog is on a loose leash walking next to you, looking forwards, that's when you mark good or yep, and then slowly go down and feed your dog a treat. Then show your dog that you have no more treats in your hands so that they can explore the environment. And if your dog is used to getting back-to-back treats, you really want to encourage them to explore. Use your body language to show that you're not going to give any more food and that what we're doing now is exploring. So you can point out things in the environment for them to check out. And then as soon as they're checking the things out again and 100% not focused on the food, that's when you can mark again, good, and give them a treat. You can also add a cue like all done. So when I am not going to give my dog another treat, it's not a training session, I give them the treat and then I say all done like this. And then that really helps with the frustration, because if a dog has been conditioned to think, oh, the treats are coming out, what do I have to do to earn the treats? Do I have to look at you? Do I have to walk like this? If you see your dog walking like that on a walk, I suggest telling them, all done, let's go explore the environment, go sniff. What's that over there? And then you're going to mark that moment. They're calmly walking next to you on a loose leash. I suggest initially training the leash walking behaviors in your house and your yard when you're using a high rate of reinforcement, because your dog will be looking up at you, and that's totally okay because you're in a training session and they're trying to figure out what to do and what's next. So you want that. So when they're in the training session, they're looking up at you, but then when you go on a walk and your dog is walking nicely at your side, looking forward, that's when you want to mark. You don't want to get a dog that is looking up at you on the walk, because that walking at your side is contingent on them looking up. So you'll find that when the dog is no longer looking up, they're going to speed up and walk ahead of you and possibly hit the end of the leash, as well as that the walking at your side is contingent on the food and working for the food. So when the food disappears, the dog is no longer trained. They were only doing that behavior for the food. So instead, you want to capture them walking calmly at your side, not thinking about the food, and then there won't be that contingency that, ooh, I'm doing this so that I can get the treat. They're doing it because they want to do it, and then you go and reinforce it. I think that's the best way to train, and that's going to stop you having to treat all the time and fall into that really difficult situation where you can't get rid of the treats on a walk because the dog's so dependent on them. And it's really not a healthy thing, because the dog should be out exploring, enjoying the environment, and not thinking about how to earn food. So I really suggest doing the food training at home, and then on the walk, if you do need to do something using food, that you've worked on this moving settle, so you can do a mini training session. And even though you have food, you can tell your dog, all done, go sniff, or let's go on a casual walk, and then the dog isn't going to feel frustrated that the training session ended and that they know that it's now time to get to explore the environment. Let's go. And the difference is that you see she's got her head faced forwards in a natural position, and I can reinforce that on a normal walk. So when we walk around and she's just enjoying the environment, I can reinforce her and I can feed her in the direction that her head is facing, like that. if you're out and about and you have treats and your dog is hyperfixated on your treats, you can give your dog a treat like this and then show your dog you have nothing and say, all done, and then go sniff, Epic, go sniff, and then wait until your dog is invested in sniffing in the grass like that. Good, and then you can mark and reinforce. So your dog is understanding, good, that by not paying attention to you is how they're going to get the treat in this type of situation, so that then you can walk around and have your dog explore the environment without them hyperfixating on you and the treats, and when the treats are not there, that they completely ignore you completely. Check the description below for my free leash walking playlist here on YouTube, as well as my 6-week self-study course that's on my website. See you later.